Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Hello, people. Welcome to yet another episode. Who's that anime? And this week we're talking about Pokemon, the movie, Secrets of the Jungle.
We are Zarude.
So rude.
Yeah, we are Zarude. It's pretty much my whole takeaway from the entire movie.
We are so rude. All right, not so rude.
No, not that.
Yet.
So not yet. So this week is special because we have a Pokemon expert, Robbie, with us.
Yes, yeah. I am a sucker for anything Pokemon. You know this about me. Apart from the movies. For lots of reasons, some of them glaringly obvious, but yeah, it's actually really nice to be here, and it was nice to have a bit of. I would have watched the film anyway. It was nice to have a bit of purpose in watching it, and yeah, I actually quite enjoyed watching it with a slightly more analytical head on, you know.
Yeah, I think it's nice to be able to tell yourself you haven't wasted nearly 2 hours because there was a reason you were watching this.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. Yes, Pokemon the movie, definitely not Tarzan.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's not Tarzan.
Definitely not Tarzan or Jungle Boy the movie. Yeah.
No, missing Phil Collins, that's the problem. Fire soundtrack from Disney's Tarzan is what we really needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many movies have there been on Pokemon lately?
746. No, this is the 23rd.
As many as there are Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
There's been one feature film per Pokemon.
I'm sorry. Did you say 23?
There's been 23. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's
That's
been.
not real,
Let me do a quick.
surely?
Hold on. I've got my.
Oh,
iPad in
fact
front of me
checking.
here. I'm fairly certain that it's the 23rd Pokemon film. Which if that is not quantity over quality, then I don't know what is. 23, yeah. 23 theatrical Pokemon movies. And
Only watched that first one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when was the last time either of you watched a Pokemon film?
There.
Not that long ago, surprisingly.
That was my
The last
first.
time you watched it was that first one? That was your first? Oh my god.
I never followed the series.
Yeah,
I didn't grow up with it as much as you guys. It was
the great thing about the Pokemon anime is that not even the creators of the series follow the series. It's an absolute shambles. But I watched before this one. The last Pokemon film that I watched was the remake of the original. You know, they did the Mewtwo.
Is that the CGI one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched that one.
I quite enjoyed that, but even the first film, even going all the way back, because you know with stuff like this, you can get drawn into the whole nostalgia factor and think of the original Pokemon film as this really great movie. Like, it's totally not. It's like an hour and 45, and about an hour of that is filler. You know, it's. But it does feed into that nostalgia, which makes it really appealing. So the new ones, I do find the new ones like quite challenging in a few different ways.
yeah.
I think that's the last one. The last one I watched, or that is that there's another one called. Is it Mewtwo Strikes Back? Is that another one?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that one.
Yeah,
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Is that the name of the? Yeah. So the original film was Pokemon the movie Mewtwo Strikes Back, and then they brought out the remake, which was Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one from 2019.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I like their 3D representation of Dragonite as a mailman in that movie. I really enjoyed. So
Yeah, absolutely.
A mailman
it's pretty
Dragonite.
good. Yeah, he's like the delivery guy, just rapidly moving and knocking shit over.
Yeah, and they
Is
brought
the
out a
kind of the
Pokemon
go-to.
card of that mailman Dragonite as well,
Oh,
which
no.
I actually have. It's pretty cool.
That's
It's a
cool.
nice card. Yeah.
I
Nice.
have recently in my Pokemon card investment have picked up the is it the Pokemon Celebration Trainer Elite box.
Yes. Yes.
Now have a total of 7 Elite Trainer boxes sitting unopened.
Nice. That Celebrations one is a good one to get hold of because that's been selling out in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's gonna be worth a lot one day. That's gonna be extra taken care of.
Yeah,
absolutely.
hopefully. So, I have watched one other Pokemon movie, but that would be Pikachu, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Is that classified as a Pokemon movie?
Well, like I don't class it as a. I mean, it is a Pokemon movie, but I don't class it as a Pokemon movie, as in it's not one of the 23 like animated Pokemon films that are based off of the anime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's good, so it does have that unique selling point.
It's good.
You went to watch that in the cinema, right?
Yes, yeah, and I've watched it a couple of times
Yeah.
again since then. I do genuinely think that's a great film. That's the kind of film that a Pokemon fan, you know, someone who's been into it for the amount of time that I have, that was a really rewarding cinema experience, you know, going and seeing that, and the way that they did it and the actors involved, that was a really enjoyable movie.
I liked the Lickitung scene in the train was particularly funny.
Yeah.
There's just like this random Lickitung that's just like licking things for no good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, Pokemon the movie, Secrets of the Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we even begin with this?
Superman.
Yeah, like it's like Superman. It's Moses, not Moses. Who was the one in the basket?
It's called the Moses jacket basket.
Yeah, Moses was in the basket. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that one.
I think.
Or was it Pharaoh's son? He was going to get executed. Something like that.
We get a pretty fantastic musical number from the Zarude.
At the start, banging away.
There's one particular Zarude that's kind of just going ham on what might be bongos, and it just it like really makes me laugh in a way that it's just like, this is what is happening. It's like yeah, stop your feet, something jungle, yeah, Zarude. You're like, okay,
we are the jungle.
Yeah.
Also, these are words. Some of these are words, Zarude. How do you know these?
Oh, right. That's literally the first. I don't want to be too. I've told myself before we started recording, I didn't want to be too negative about this, right? But after that song is almost exactly where my enjoyment of the movie ends.
It peaked about 10 seconds in.
Yeah, it was the moment that we established that these Zarude were going to be speaking English was the moment that they've done it in previous Pokemon films, and it weirded me out then just as much as it did this time around. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy them speaking English. I don't know what that's about. I understand that it's a logistical nightmare to create a 1 hour 40-minute movie based on creatures that you're not going to have speaking English, because it's just like, how do you portray anything? But I can't.
Do like the squirrel does.
You can't insert Ash and Pikachu. It's like, what's that Pikachu? It's this. It's like, oh yeah, like one of the kids has fallen down the well. Okay, like thanks, Zarude.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that? What was that, Lassie?
Oh dear.
Oh no! It's so weird. And then, like, I don't know. the Cape to Zarude Dada, as we'll come to know him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or Cape Ape,
takes a
I
little
like to call him.
wander. I've added his little picture to our video, which I was quite happy about. I tried to add in Coco as well, but it was like, do you know, it really annoyed me, and this is going to make me sound so pedantic, but I work with artists every day now, and I'm by no means saying this is a work of art. But if you look at the Zarude's feet, you will notice there are subtle shadings where the shadows would be in the PNG. The only one I could find of Coco, there were no shades under his feet.
All right.
So it really bothered me that one of them had shadows and one of them didn't. And I do not have the artistic skills to make that different. So I cut him out. He's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Dada finds the baby in the river in what would looks like a metal pod, like one of those things you put cash in for your job and put up the tube.
Yeah. And the baby was a little bit terrifying, and again, definitely not Tarzan.
No,
Just
not
coincidentally similar.
it's got superpowers at the start.
Yeah.
What?
Did you notice it like teleported on top of the Dada's head? Because he was walking away at the start, right? Because the baby was like at one end of the log, right? And then he looked at the kid and went, it's just a kid, I'll leave it alone type thing. And then starts walking away. And he's a kid like 10 yards or so away from the kid. And then suddenly the kid's on top of his head.
Yeah, but in this universe, remember, Pokemon are communicating in perfect English. So I think babies might be able to teleport as well. It might just be part of the quirk of that universe.
This is the Incredibles crossover we've all been waiting for.
Well, you know, I mean, certainly, it could just be Superman. It could just be like a baby from Kryptonite.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is essentially the Incredibles. So we're both right. And then we get if I remember correctly, some sort of song montage.
Yeah, there's a montage. This could also be Pokemon montage version, because there was a montage and then there was a break of about so they had a montage to sort of speed up the process of the baby becoming the Coco that we see in the film. Did they ever? I can't remember if they ever mentioned Coco's age, but like 10 or 11, something like that.
Sure.
Probably.
What age is Ash?
Ash is 10.
Is it 10?
Okay, so 10. Let's say 10.
So let's say
thought he was
10.
13.
I mean, isn't it normal to just send your 10-year-old out to deal with shit?
Yeah, in this world, yes. And then, but they have that montage, and then it's like, I'm sure there's only a 20-minute gap where they then bring in the next montage, which is about Coco's relationship with Ash or something. You know, it's montage crazy.
It is. It made me think of it gave me heavy Mannequin vibes, the 80s rom-com, just with the amount of montages.
I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I suppose at the start it was
maybe it was the length of the montages that was more abhorrent.
Yeah, was it? Because you get the baby and he goes, all right, I'm going to keep the baby, take it back to the tribe. He gets kicked out of the tribe because he's not allowed to bring anything into the tribe. And then they had like a montage of him growing up, looking for the parents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually relatively important. Is that it seems, despite being a parent, he's like, if only there was a way I could give this kid back.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to protect this kid, but more than anything else, I want this kid to not be around.
Yeah, like I love this kid, but my God, I'm tired.
That was like the start, and they kind of grew up because he finds like the secret lab, and he goes and watches some fireworks with the kid.
Yep.
And then the kid finally grows up, and he's eventually able to talk to Pokemon. Apparently, he can actually understand Pokemon.
Yeah,
because he's got all his buddies
no
in
one
the
else,
forest, in the jungle, rather.
Yeah, but no one else can understand that.
Yeah, I feel like that was sort of glossed over.
Yeah.
Wait, so... Oh, wait. Have I just completely missed this, then? He can speak to all the other Pokemon, but all of the Zarude can't.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, at least, certainly he can, and Dada Zarude cannot.
Yeah.
What is going on with this?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
No wonder I glossed over that in my head.
And then the zoo basically feel that the whole jungle is there, so they go around and eat all the food and everything. And they're like, "Whoa, it's mine, it's ours. That's the rule of our people," type thing. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, that's wrong. You share."
The Zarudes are jerks.
They are complete bastards. And then, as most teenage kids do, have fallen out with their parents, and then runs away from the said parent, and then knocks himself unconscious off a big metal pipe.
Yeah.
As all children do.
And Ash basically hangs up on his mom and goes, someone else calling me, bye.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I don't know whether it's that he's just useless, which I'm perfectly willing to believe, and I will make some points later on about this, or it's that his mother is just so gratuitously overbearing about everything.
Well, he was basically cast out of his house at 10. Well, I was going to say at 10, but he's still 10 because
Eternal 10.
Because that's the thing, yeah. But he has also
he's done a lot in those
2 decades worth
years.
of adventures, yeah. So his mum can't be, it depends how often she checks in, because if she's checking in every day for 25 years, that's quite full on.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
But maybe it just so happens
at this point, have we... Sorry, I was just going to say, at this point, have we discussed... Have we identified the tree?
No.
In the Zarude's secret jungle?
It's a tree's Zarude's hometown land.
Yeah, have we discussed are its properties clear at this point, or have I jumped the gun?
No, not yet. So the healing springs from the tree.
Yes.
We get to know about it just before Poco meets Ash, because he goes.
Okay.
So he goes, I gotta save this Pokemon. Let's get him this way, and then he throws a bit of fruit at it to make it angry, to break its anger from the other Pokemon that it's fighting, getting beaten up on.
Is that the flying green one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, Robbie, name check.
Flygon.
Yes, Flygon. Flygon is also a total prick, it seems. Who's just starting fights all the time.
Whose ability in English is severely lacking. Can't speak English.
Yeah,
it's a big downer.
Yeah,
the job application for Pokemon and not being able to speak English. So, is Flygon's Pokedex entry is flying green lizard and total bastard? Is that the?
Let me just check, because I'm.
we are going to do so many of these Pokedex entry checks.
Yeah. But I would absolutely love it if it was even remotely close to that. Well, they all have different entries for all the different games that they've appeared in. Generally speaking, they like to try and mix it up. So let's see.
I'd have to point out that all Pokemon are technically bastards.
You mean just not by being born through not marriage?
Exactly.
Yeah. Are we, is this really the stance our podcast wants to take on animals being born?
So I don't want to just insert this at a random point, but I feel it's important for me to get this off my chest, because this is a thing that would annoy a lot of other Pokemon fans, is that there's a scene fairly early on, I think it's within the first 5 or 10 minutes, where there are some Pokemon gathered in the jungle. Now, I'm looking at them going, why the hell is this Pokemon in a jungle? You know, it's like a steel type or something like that. I can't remember the exact example, but the reason that's just come back into my head is because the first Pokedex entry for Flygon that I've just read is this is from Pokemon Ruby, so way back. Flygon is nicknamed the elemental spirit of the desert. So this is what I mean when they don't.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Company International, they don't really care about any of this stuff. That's it's so obvious, you know.
But it could hurt our brand. I don't know. Like, we're still selling merchandise hand over fist. I think we're good here.
Exactly.
Is Flygon really from Pokemon Ruby?
Yeah,
and Sapphire?
Yeah. That was where it first appeared, Ruby and Sapphire.
Holy shit!
So yeah,
I played that one and don't remember it
all the way back. Yeah, and again, they double down on the desert spirit thing on the Sapphire and the Emerald Pokedex entry. Fire Red and Leaf Green, it hides itself by kicking up desert sand. Diamond and Pearl,
gonna struggle to do that in the desert.
Totally. Yeah, no wonder it's such a bastard. It's thousands of miles from home.
It's like, where's my fucking sand?
Yeah,
you promised.
It's literally. Honestly,
grass.
you would not believe this. I'm looking at these right now. Diamond and Pearl, Desert Spirit, Platinum, Desert Spirit, Black and White, known as the Desert Spirit, X and Y. Yeah, all the way through, even up to Pokemon Shield, released when 2 years ago. Something like that. Nicknamed the Desert Spirit. But nah, I'll just put it in the jungle. It doesn't matter.
Until now. It's like, oh well, you know, like it's a new year. Like 2019 was the Desert Spirit. What if we made him the jungle asshole? Would that would that work? And it's like, well, you know, apparently people who have played the game that he started in don't remember him. So
yeah. That's the Pokedex entry for the new games. Flygon. This Pokemon was originally regarded the Desert Spirit, but further research has in fact led us to believe it is the jungle asshole.
Thank God, yeah. I'm really looking forward to Arceus as well. It's going to be so good. So we get the real like deep and gritty Pokedex entries.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh man.
So there's a few in there because there's like the big panda one. I want to say it's Pancham, but that's the small one, right?
Yeah, Pangoro.
Yes.
Pangoro
is the big nasty guy.
Yeah.
How many arms
he
does he
doesn't
have?
have 4 arms though. No, he's only got 2 arms.
He's only got 2 arms.
Yeah.
He's only got 2 arms. Sad state of affairs.
Disappointing.
So yeah, we are. I guess we're at the point now where the Coco, the totally not Tarzan, has rendered themselves unconscious and in a river.
Yep. Where Ash jumps in to save him because he's exploring the jungle.
Yep.
Ash is just literally in the right place at the right time for everything. That kid is just a magnet for danger and problems.
He is.
Yeah,
he is. It does get to a point where you have to really ask yourself: Is Ash the problem? Is an absolute magnet for catastrophe, isn't he?
Are you going with like the Batman analogy?
Exactly.
Is Batman the trouble? The problem.
I feel like if we take Ash out of the equation, do all the world's problems just disappear?
Maybe.
So yeah, he saves the kid and they end up in hospital.
Yeah.
And Coco does not take kindly to waking up in a hospital.
No.
Full of people.
Indoors.
Oh yeah, we should also
full of people.
Should also mention the argument that the reason he ran away is because he was asking if he was Zahu. Zahu?
Zarude.
Zarude. I should remember Zarude.
I have absolutely missed this part of the conversation. Is where you try to remember that one specific word.
Yeah.
And we'll go back and forth on what the right one is. Every time.
Every time. I was I was getting a name wrong at work today. An actual person's name. It's like, oh, it's this guy, and they're like, no, it's this guy, and it's like, yeah. So what we're doing with this guy? No, it's this. Said his name wrong.
That person doesn't work here.
Yeah,
Stop saying their name.
he's an athlete or a football manager. Why are you saying this? Which one are you choosing?
Oh, brilliant.
No, I have no idea. Anyway, yeah, I should say Coco is running away because he's had an argument because he doesn't think that his dad's telling the truth about what he is because he keeps saying, "Oh, you're so rude."
Yes,
But he's like, but he's human.
there might be some truth to that. Yeah, there might be some truth to that.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, so he runs away, gets knocked out, wakes up in the hospital, goes a bit ape crazy, and runs away, jumping really high because he jumps good.
Yep.
And then almost gets run over again, second time in the movie.
Yeah.
So who left him as a baby, and he walks into the middle of the road.
That's right. Yeah.
And but then he calms down like another Pokemon, and then starts to befriend Ash. And Ash is going just like gushing all over him, like, "Oh, you're amazing! Oh, you can talk to Pokemon."
Oh, what's it called? It's Gnaw something?
The big
Pokemon that runs rampant.
big turtle thing.
Oh, oh God, I can't remember the name of it. Dreadnought.
Yeah,
Dreadnought. That's
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought. Yeah,
And he like just sort of calms it down by giving it an aggressive hug
very aggressive.
to stop it in its tracks. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna sumo wrestle this out, and then I'm gonna like tickle you a little bit because we're both animals, right?
Yeah.
We're Pokemon. And then I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, yeah, I don't know, I need to go. Shit's bad. Too many people.
Yeah, and then he starts having a conversation with Pikachu because he can talk to all Pokemon but not humans.
Yeah.
Yes. And yet picks up English surprisingly quickly.
And also, 2 films ago, and when they brought out Pokemon the movie I Choose You, and they sort of introduced this multiverse concept, right? It was a sort of like reboot of the series, but it's a different universe in which some things that had previously been established no longer exist, and some things still exist because, like I said, fuck it, they don't care. In I Choose You, Pikachu speaks English, right? he says something to Ash, which is sort of generally considered to be one of the cringiest moments of any Pokemon film, because it's like it's something like 10 minutes from the end, and Pikachu looks at Ash and says something really cheesy in English. But in Family Guy, when the guy in the back of the truck speaks Spanish and then explains in Spanish that that's the only thing he ever learned. No, sorry, speaks English and then explains that that's the only thing he ever learned how to say in English. It must be a similar situation for Pikachu. Sorry, I only ever learned how to say this
I understood
one really cheesy thing to Ash, and now I can no longer speak English. Yeah. You can see this English thing really, it really got to me.
Like the idea of Pikachu speaking English and it not being Ryan Reynolds' voice at this point is worrying. Also, spoilers for Detective Pikachu if you have not watched that, but time's up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would either that or I think we discussed this many times, Colin, that Danny DeVito would have been a perfectly acceptable Pikachu.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was all for Danny DeVito, man, being Pikachu, but then
Pretty cool.
I don't even think he knew what Pikachu was.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's too busy not knowing other things.
Yeah.
And knowing the stuff that matters.
being a big asshole in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Or Danny Glover's friend in the new Jumanji films, I think, is pretty much the only other thing I'm aware that Danny DeVito does these days. So.
Danny Glover's friend in the new Jumanji?
Do you know,
really?
Do you want to know, like, I made this startling discovery, and I'm going to fact check this, just in case. And while we're on the topic of Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon was released in 1987. So Danny Glover was born in 1946.
Wow.
And I, if you can remember, the premise of Lethal Weapon is, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking 41. He's 41.
But, to be fair, a man reserves the right to declare that he's getting too old for anything he feels he's getting too old for at any time.
Totally.
But yeah, I
I
knew where you were going with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, so
that's because in 5 years he was expecting to die in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Well, he was Mel Gibson, like.
He was even younger, I think.
Oh, he was, yeah. But
he's probably like in his early 30s.
Probably, but I don't police officers
funny.
retire like really early? Didn't they retire?
My understanding is the way it works is that they just generally announce retirement whenever, and then a week later they're shot.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
None of them ever make it to retirement.
No.
So
no,
what you're saying is the government and the police force don't want to pay out a pension, so they hire a hitman to kill them.
It
That's
is a
right.
very big scene.
Like,
and there's £27 million in an unused retirement party bank account, just because they keep putting money into it and the parties are never happening.
Oh man!
It goes to the first police officer who turns out to be fireproof, bulletproof, and carproof.
And all the poison,
unpoisonable.
Unpoisonable.
And, all those other things. What were we talking about? Sorry,
Pokemon.
I derailed us. We were talking about the weapon. We were talking about Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, so Coco has just
Coco.
announced that he's getting too old for this and he wants to retire.
In perfect Zarude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It came out more like za rude.
Yeah.
Which is heavily entertaining. You know, the thing is like I know that that voice could have come out of Pokemon, and I would have found that 900% less awkward.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes into like the making friends scenario with Ash, that you're on about.
Montage number 2.
You mean
Yeah.
montage 2?
Yep.
And then he gets only
Montage 2, the virus takes Manhattan. Yep. Yeah.
This is the montage that makes me think of Mannequin, because they go like clothes shopping.
God.
It's absurd.
Yeah. And then they head to they head back into the forest because he's Mrs. the Dada.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then Dada goes, "Yes, you are human, and I found you here," and took him to like the abandoned research lab. Shows him a picture and like, this is you in this picture with your parents.
Yeah.
I assume.
There's a lot of great bits about this. What sort of the first incredible thing is Coco and the Zarude standing there having this like obvious argument, and Ash is like, I wonder what they're talking about. It's like, they fucking shout at each other, man. Like, come on. Like they're full on yelling at each other. Surely, like, and Pikachu must be. It's like, oh, Pikachu. I wonder what they're talking about. Pikachu must be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This is awkward. And then Sorry. I think this is the bit where, yeah, like you say, they go to the research lab and he shows him the picture. He's like, I found you here. By the time I found you, by the time I'd found this place, it was already ruined. And there's this photo, and then Ash is like, I'm sorry, I never knew my dad either, or like, I know what it's like to have an absent father. I don't know what the relation like. I'm trying to relate here. It's like, yeah, I know your dad's not around, but it's like, is he dead?
So this is this caused like quite a stir in the online Pokemon community, right? Because it's just a continuing thing that no one has a clue who Ash's dad is or what happened to him, where he went. There was a theory for a long time that his dad was the Mr. Mime that lives with his mum.
Oh, I saw that one, and that's a glorious thing.
Oh,
or he was like at some point turned into a Mr. Mime or something like that. But yeah, the moment they could have gone further with this, I thought it would have been a really cool little, not an Easter egg, but it would have been cool for them to go a little into more detail here and not just have him say one thing and actually answer nothing.
I think the bit that made me laugh the most is when he's like, my dad used to say, like, the map to your whatever future is inside of you. I was like, holy shit, Ash's dad is Jigsaw. That's what this is. It's like, that's what this has been leading to this whole time. Is like Ash's dad has just been you want to play a game, the map's inside of you, fucking find your way at this House of Knives or whatever. I don't know, like, it's the only explanation I can come up with.
Oh man,
it's such an arbitrary line
to
have there. It's like, like, I was old enough to understand and remember what my dad said. I'm 10.
Yeah.
And apparently I don't know where he's been.
Yeah.
And no one does.
No, exactly. Total mystery. It would have thrown a real spanner in the works if Ash sat down and said, my dad used to always say to me, Zarud, Zaza, Zaza, Zarud, Zud.
Oh, that would have been incredible. I would, like, it's like, oh shit, I didn't recognize my dad with the cape.
Yes, exactly. Huge twist. Yeah.
Oh, you're not the first child he's brought in.
Yeah.
Off the street. Oh my god. It's so absurd.
Yeah.
Then, of course, this is where we get into the conversation about the what's her name? They've spoken to this scientist woman before at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Ash and Pikachu have, and I think they recognize the logo on her lab coat, and it's the same one that's shown in the in the photo.
Yeah.
The SOS Brigade.
Yeah, it's for you, in case you don't know this, Robbie, but when we did a series called the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, she formed a school club called the SOS Brigade.
Oh, okay.
And it very much looks like the SOS Brigade logo.
Oh, interesting. Crossover incoming.
Oh god.
I hope not. I need a rest. The mental taxation of the last 2 seasons we've done.
Zero Leagues Burns Lane and fucking
Haruhi. We watched the movie of Haruhi, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. The movie is 2 hours and 43 minutes long.
Oh my god.
And we managed to talk about it for, I think, almost 4 hours. Is that right, Colin?
Wow.
that. I split into 2 episodes with about 2 hours each.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So yeah, we'll stop here and then we'll talk about the rest later. It was insane.
So much in those.
So yeah, they naturally take the hint and go to the science lab, where Team Rocket are working.
Yeah, well,
the Biotope Company it's called, isn't it?
Yes.
Biotope.
Yes. Can we talk about Meowth's wig?
Yeah. Yes.
right.
Yeah, Meowth has this like little bowl, like long-haired bowl cut blonde wig, and it's fucking adorable. It's so ridiculous.
Disguises. I was so we should mention that Team Rocket's kind of been following Ash as they always do, because they always want that Pikachu for some reason. Ash's Pikachu.
Yeah.
What's the reason behind that? Except from
So I believe it goes back to the original anime, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think actually the very first episode. I think.
Yeah. They see it as really powerful.
Rightly. Yeah, that's right. And then
interestingly, sorry, go on.
No, just 25 years later, here we are. They've still, everyone else is aware of 890 additional Pokemon, but Team Rocket still want that Pikachu. And
yeah.
They are aging remarkably well, I have to say. Jesse and James are.
Well,
they look younger.
I was going to ask a question about their voice actors because I think Jesse's voice actor is the same, by the sounds of it, as it was in the original show, or as close as damn it. Meowth seems a little off to me, and James, because I haven't really watched much Pokemon, just seems a mile off from what I remember James sounding like.
Yeah, James's voice actor, if it hasn't changed more than, I know it's changed once, it may have changed more than once, but at the very beginning, they had a much darker aura around James. Actually, around Team Rocket in general was much darker. And then that's sort of like over time been diluted, and now they're effectively like, can you call them comic relief? Like, none of it's particularly hard hitting. I don't know if comic relief is the right term, but they're definitely just in there for sort of slapstick comedy.
They're sort of the bulk and skull of the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
For those of you who like Power Rangers, that's all I can think of.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're in for the long game.
They certainly are.
So because they've been following them when Ash meets the lady from the company, the research team, they sniff some nefarious deeds behind it. I'm like, oh, that seems a bit legit. Too legit. We're going to go investigate that. And then they sneak in and just bungle around. I don't even know how they get in. Put the disguise. They're like the A-Team, like they just put disguises on, like, and it's no one goes, oh yeah, they've been there for years.
Yeah,
they're like looking for a. They end up with a USB stick type thing, or like some sort of memory card at some point.
Yeah.
Is this the one that Coco was wearing?
No.
Maybe.
No.
No,
is that
it's
different
like
thing?
A credit card size thing.
Right.
They've basically got a swipe card. So James is apparently is quite a bit of a good hacker. It seems.
Yes.
They have all through the years in numerous different films and all of the seasons of the anime. Team Rocket have access to like state of the art equipment and getaway vehicles and all sorts of ridiculous contraptions, and can't catch a Pikachu. I don't know. I question whether their heart is still in it. If I'm totally honest with you. I don't think they won't. I think they're just telling the boss, no, we'll get it, yeah, and just
keep paying us. Yeah.
5 o'clock, Team Rocket blasting away.
Yeah.
They never did that this time. They just kind of disappeared.
They didn't get their blasting off again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they kind of like didn't actually. Yeah, they didn't do jack shit. It was just that fucking Cramorant.
Yeah,
whatever it's called that was causing problems.
Yeah, they just basically was there just so they can progress the plot a bit. Yeah, so they're there and try to hack into get into the leader, the head scientist's room because no one's allowed in there for some reason.
Yeah.
Dr. Zed, is that right? Dr. Zed.
Dr. Zed, that's
Dr.
right.
Zed.
Dr. Zed.
Isn't that
Which
from
to me is suspiciously
Borderlands?
close to Zarude, but what should we call the scientist? Dr. Zarude? No, we can't call him that. That's the name of the Pokemon. Doctors. We can move away from the letter Z. Yeah, Zed. Let's call him Zed.
There's a No, the something waters. There's the diabolical Doctor Z. What's it fucking called? They did an episode of Mystery Science Theater about it. Keep talking. I'll satisfy my own curiosity.
Yeah. And then we kind of need to mention the bird that Ash tries to capture at the start of the film, where basically he sends Pikachu to go and fight it, and then it pretty much tries to swallow it whole.
Yeah, that's the Cramorant. Yeah.
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 And
That's
then,
right.
And then Pikachu basically uses the lightning bolt or whatever it is inside its gut,
Yep.
and it just kind of laughs it off and then spits him out.
Yeah,
But then
which is brutal if you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Even Team Rocket mentioned
the
that.
context there. So we see that is Cramorant not bothered by electricity, because I think later on it is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to handle that pretty well. The Thunderbolt at the start of the film, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Didn't
But
get crispy
well.
anyway, until at the end of the movie. But that appears because Team Rocket bumbles and basically throws the credit card down the stairs, and then it kind of picks up and eats it, and then flies away. All before Ash and Coco get there. And then, so moving on back to where we started this, as Coco and the people get to the lab, and they go, "Oh look! Oh, it's Al! Holy shit! I thought you died." Type thing.
The baby called Al.
Yeah, he's called Al.
He sounds like a guy that's sitting at the bar and cheers.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
Al.
and then scan the necklace ring thing he's got around his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the thing the Zarud gave him, saying he'd found it.
Yeah.
He found him.
Yeah.
But it's actually a tracking chip.
Yeah.
No, the tracking chip is the thing that they attach that to the guy to his clothing. I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, because he was wearing a
I
t-shirt
think
at that point. Yeah.
The key thing, the ring thing, is it has data about the location of the.
That's
the
right.
Yeah.
Spring.
That's right.
Can we and we're going to talk a little bit about motive and me as a person at this point. So it's clear that Dr. Zed kind of is hey, so this fountain could probably help a lot of people, probably including himself. And I'm kind of having this harkens back to the conversations I've had where people are yeah, well, it's think of the terrible thing that Thanos did, and it's he just clicked his fingers and got rid of half the population. It's and he's what he could have done is clicked his fingers and given the world double the food. It's yeah, but nobody learns a lesson.
Yeah.
Don't overeat. And it's so I fall down on the side of hey, Thanos was totally nuts, but maybe not totally crazy, because he wasn't targeting anyone in particular. This was entirely random, and he was perfectly willing for himself to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But
in
this example, he's hey, so we really want to find this fountain because it's medically relevant to helping the world. Oh no, that belongs to this one Pokemon. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry. No can do.
Exactly.
It's a totally immovable. Not even suggesting that we have to cause any fuss or anything here, but yeah, just it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, not in the Zarud's schedule.
No.
To have people visiting the Life Waters.
Yeah, well, we always state that the Zarud is complete utter bastards and pricks of the forest.
Yeah.
But
the movie I was trying to think of, by the way, is called The Bloody Waters of Dr. Z.
Oh, nice.
How bloody was the water?
Pretty bad.
Yeah. All right.
It's a good episode of Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. So, and he basically tells, "Oh, sorry, your parents are dead," to the kid. Of course, he doesn't understand because he doesn't understand English.
Yeah, it's the way Ash tells him as well. Is like, do you understand what he's trying to tell you? He's telling you that your parents no longer live in our world. It's like, so what world do they live in? like, I, I appreciate you trying to sort of, cushion the blow, as it were. But also, again, you're saying it in English. I don't speak English.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is sort of like the this movie's equivalent of just speaking louder in the hope that sinks it in.
That's how you
It's
speak
like,
to foreigners, isn't
your
it?
parents are dead. Sorry?
That's how you speak to foreigners.
Yeah, that's how that works. I understand. They definitely don't hate
shout
that.
and point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just speak
John
louder.
Cleese.
People don't dislike that at all.
No.
That's the whole John Cleese thing, I'm sure.
I find it really
Yes,
funny the issues that this operation have had in finding the location of the Great Tree, right? Because first of all, at the very beginning of the film, it's made clear that the jungle is in the immediate outskirts of this town.
Yeah.
And then you see the tree and it towers above everything else, and it's this gigantic, and with all the equipment they've got, when all they needed was a helicopter to just fly over.
Definitely not visible from the sky.
You know, I mean, it's just, oh god. This is the thing about Pokemon films for me. Like, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and it doesn't have to be good for me to consume it. If the word Pokemon is on it,
Sure.
I will consume it. I don't need the games to be incredible or to improve much year on year, which they don't. They stay the same, and that's fine. Just take that nostalgia and inject it directly into my veins. That's all I'm looking for. But the films, it's not like we're talking about a company that has, if you take something that made me suffer through this movie a little bit was that only the night before I really randomly watched The Emperor's New Groove, right?
Classic.
Yeah, which I hadn't seen for a while, and I coincidentally watched that the night before, and it's obviously a great Disney movie with great animation, all this kind of stuff. And then I watched the Pokemon film, and it's not like we're transferring to a company with less resources. Like the Pokemon Company bring in more money than Disney do. This is not a company that have to skimp on budget when it comes to like getting good storytelling or superior animation. They just know that it's going to be consumed anyway. So the film and the anime is littered with all these little holes in it, where it's just why have you made that decision? Why have they not been able to find it when literally at the start of the film you make it so clear that it's extremely easy to find,
Yeah.
That's the kind of logic that these things are seated in.
Yeah, they're highly weird. I mean, so just before we spoil it all a bit more and get like even more pointless, why has it been so hard for him to find it again? Essentially, because obviously he was. He puts the chip on Coco and he runs away because he's like, no, my parents are dead, even though he doesn't understand any of it. And goes straight to the fountain of life or whatever you want to call it, and then goes, oh, what's this noise? People have followed me. How have they done that? Because he finds the tracking chip and goes, oh, what's this? And then they appear, and then you have like the backlog and the backstory, and you find out that Dr. Z's killed the parents in a car chase from the lab.
In a car chase where they're having a full-on fucking conversation at 90 miles an hour between cars.
Yes. Yeah.
And then...
Actually, sorry, can we just very quickly step back to the bit where Dr. Z is regaling them of the conversation about, like, his parents wanting to shut down the project. It's like, yes, here we are, two casual scientists holding our baby in the lab. It's like, yeah, wait, what? Was there no childcare? Do you always work 5 feet from each other? What is this? Like, it's like, we need to make sure that the father and the mother are there, but maybe also the baby. It's like, what would be a good setting for that? It's like, well, it's about work matter, so probably in the lab.
Yeah,
Dr. Zed should be there too, because obviously he's part of the argument. It's like, well, does that not seem weird? Well, no, because we've also said they can't find this big fucking tree. So
yeah,
I guess
exactly. Yeah. People bring their babies to labs, right? Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Your lab has a soft play, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So broken. It's so broken.
I had
All of it.
little bathtubs for them in my lab. This still haven't filled with like concrete blocks, but it's fine.
I kind of thought as
Not
well
for
that
children.
I thought that filling in these storyline gaps in the form of flashbacks was a little bit lazy. I feel like this could have been covered, in a sort of more substantial format. But again, you can't analyze these things too deeply with the Pokemon films. You really can't, because
No.
you just go crazy.
They fall out of the car. Okay, sorry, we're gonna get into this because they crash their car. The car is in a billion pieces and on fire, and they're just lying outside of it with the baby already in its like eco chamber or whatever you want to call it, and the mother's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna push the baby into the water with my last breath," and it's like, well, you don't look hurt, and like you've miraculously ended up like lying right next to each other, all three of you. And then Dr. Zed walks away. He's like, well, that's the end of that chapter. And then there's a good like 30 seconds. It's like, so they're just gonna stand up, right? Like, because I feel like this is okay. And then it all explodes. And it's like, did they die in that explosion?
Yeah,
Because they were too stupid to get away? Because they don't seem that hurt.
absolutely.
No, well,
It's incredible.
should also point out at the big argument they say, oh, we should work with the Pokemon, get their permission to actually look at the phone, which is kind of...
Yep.
And he was like, no, we should just take it. We need it. And then he goes proper insane. Like, he walks away from that argument and like, no, we must do that, and go way insane. It's like, holy shit, maybe he wasn't right in the head from like the gecko, and they should maybe done a psych check on the guy.
Yeah, it was definitely it was evil for evil's sake. There was no justification to his level of cruelty, considering what his actual objective was. Because they could have made him just
unusual.
a flawed, like, they could have made him a guy with genuinely good intentions, who was going about something in a slightly immoral way, but be sort of more relatable than just a sort of psychopath.
He was just
Well,
like that.
and to top up on the psychopath part, of course, they realise that they're being followed because there's a really big explosion for some reason on the way into the jungle, and the Zarudo are like, "Hey, what do you think that was?" I don't know, but probably not good, guy.
Yeah, we're probably going to find
get
it.
explosions regularly, and then it's like, oh, cool, he's brought his robot spider from Wild Wild West for some reason.
Yeah.
Why is this here?
I actually did really like the animation in this bit. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was. Actually, to be fair to them, like one element of the movie I guess they didn't really skimp on is I think the animation was at least of a decent standard.
Yeah,
so.
it was definitely the last couple of Pokemon films have been a slight step up animation wise compared to everything that's come before, and this one sort of continued that, which is quite nice, because if they're gonna do an hour, I don't think a Pokemon film should ever be an hour and 40 minutes long. I really don't. It's long. That's a long movie for this sort of content, which is so sparse. But yeah,
It's
but
incredible
so they're very
how so little can be said over such a long period.
exactly, and like the very least they can do is make it look as nice as possible. So I guess that is one thing. Yeah, the animation's pretty nice, but I really particularly liked it in that bit because they have that contrast of now I'm not an expert and don't know any of the to technically describe this, but when they have that combination of different animation styles, that contrast because it looked like the big robotic spider was was it CGI?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
it was
So
on
you're
the
probably
and then the
finding
back
that
and then the
actually-
background was just the not I'm sure it's not hand illustrated anymore, but the background was just the standard background and it had that contrast of animation styles. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You might find that the actual background was probably CGI too, but because it's static, it doesn't have the same motion
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
But typically what they'll do is for more complex elements, they'll do CGI. Like from my deep in-depth research of watching Corridor Crew videos on YouTube, like essentially you would go to CGI to work with scale more accurately,
Right.
because it is really difficult to get scale correct when you have to consider where the camera perspective is supposed to be and then the relative size of your characters or whatever else in relation to each other in every single frame.
Right.
Whereas if you're working with a 3D, like a CGI asset, the scale of it is the scale of it, and then you just maneuver it to be in whatever position you need it to be in. So
Sure.
it always remains of a relative size.
Yeah, you get to move the camera in the 3D application.
In the 3D space.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh,
And
interesting.
then overlay it over. Yeah, it's like that was kind of covered well in the movies that made us when they talked about Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk about that. Anyway, so they had like a big fight, and then they start losing, and then they run away. At that point, I think,
Well,
with the big robot.
so the big fight is over the big robot. So because the big robot is going to cause some damage, and basically, the Dada goes to all the other Pokemon. Is like, hey guys, things are not looking so good. Maybe you could help us out. And then they throw fruit at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Which was like perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
'Cause they don't understand English.
they don't understand.
No, that's the problem.
Zarude.
No. Exactly.
I don't know what language you're speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't see only the kids can understand that. But I'm sure they had like the fight. The initial appearance had a fight, and they lost that, and then retreated a bit, and they progressed through the jungle a bit
maybe.
more. Because they got to because they ended up getting to the fountain area where they launched two big fuck off missiles into the big tree that they can't find from anywhere. Even like a satellite image would probably show that. And I'm assuming they're satellites because they seem to have video voice calls and iPads that they can access in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two randomly fired missiles seem to find that tree pretty well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They basically broke the pressure, the magic pressure or whatever it was.
Yeah. And then so he like, oh, all right, we're going to need to stop this shit and rally together some troops. And then the other guy who's been injured from the first fight goes,
Dada.
I'm going to get Dada. I'm going to get these
Dada's injured,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably mention that there is a flashback of Dada using his superpower, which is basically to bring things back from the dead, or like close from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has the power to heal.
The jungle
what's
healing,
the,
which has been put into the games as well. He has
Oh, really?
a move called jungle healing, yeah, which restores HP or something like that.
So
Yeah.
Zarude is in the games.
Zarude is now available in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and you can get a special Dada Zarude with the cape as well
Because of this movie.
because of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why they
So
focused
I
on.
need to log in and get my dad as a rude.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
Um,
should we also mention like there's a scene when they were in the town, they watched fireworks and they couldn't get the fireworks because there was Pokemon in the firework gun cannon. But if I was to celebrate some legendary mystical Pokemon from the future that brought back an egg from the future or something,
Oh my god. Yes.
and it's
This
just a
is
story.
also great storytelling. What is the Pokemon? Is it Celebi or Celebi or?
Celebi, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the the great magic of that is like I love the elder Zarud explaining. It's like, some say that when the jungle's out of equilibrium, that Celebi just disappears. It's like others say that it brings an egg back from the future. It's like, are those really my two options? But also, surely one of them is clearly easier to prove. It's like, well, he's not. They're not here. Did they leave a future egg? Oh, they did. Well, I guess it's that one then. Like, it's just.
I think it did
I don't
that.
understand. Is there precedent for the future egg? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, go, that was like the elder of the village with the fire. Thank you for the fireworks, and then
like in the world of Pokemon, is there like is there future eggs? Is that a thing?
now.
There's definitely eggs. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never heard the term future egg. But yeah, apparently the whole thing started with an egg. It was chaos and nothingness, and then an egg appeared, and that's where Arceus came from, and then the whole thing began. That's apparently how the Pokemon universe came into creation, was via an egg.
All right.
Wow. Like, are we basically saying it has roots in creationism?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
To a degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait. Does that make Mork a Pokemon?
Mark.
Mark from Mork and Mindy. Ron Williams' whole character.
He did come out of an egg, didn't he?
Yeah, he's all egg based.
Yes. he's if there's two things I know about Mork, it's rainbow suspenders and eggs.
And is it Nanu, isn't it?
Nanu, of course.
Yeah.
But I think unless I'm failing to remember an earlier appearance, they have this celebration with the fireworks and stuff for Celebi, as we just mentioned. But I'm pretty sure it's purely so they can then have Celebi appear at the very end to illustrate the fact that the jungle is, harmonious and that everything is fine. So he has appeared. But I think that's it, isn't it? That's the only time that you see Celebi is just right at the very end.
Yeah, and on the scarf.
Yeah.
They talk a lot about Celebi.
Yeah. Because they also released the shiny Celebi for the games at the same time as Dadazarud, so you can get one of them as well.
I do love the fact that when the elder is like, he's like, the day you came here, the jungle went to shit, man. He's like, are you trying to blame me for this? He's like, let me finish talking, and it's like, I don't see how you're going to turn this one around.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He totally doesn't. It's like, it's like, well, the day you came to me here, there's future egg and no Celebi, so maybe your fault. Just saying.
Yeah. You're the future egg.
But please don't take that too personally.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, I just thought to mention it because we keep talking about this cape, and it's on the flag at the end. See it in his flag in the cape. It hangs in the branches of the treehouse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I literally watched this today. Like, finished at 8.
I should explain then that Robbie, you and I were talking just before we started recording. You've watched this once, you said, Robbie, and a couple of other bits and pieces.
I watched it once about I think it was. When did it come out? Was it the 8th?
It was the 12th.
The 12th.
Oh no, the 8th. No, you're totally right. You're right. It was the 8th.
Was it the
Friday?
8th?
Friday the 8th.
I think so. Oh, sorry, just
Yes, you're right. It was Friday the 8th.
punched my microphone. Yeah, so Friday the 8th. So I think I watched it on the 10th, and then between then and now, I've gone into it and rewatched specific parts of it. Because like I said to you before we started recording, Stephen, I watched a couple of reviews online on YouTube of this film because I knew that we were going to be talking about it. I was interested to see what other people thought, and I saw a reviewer say that he thought it was one of the best Pokemon films ever made. So that made me want to go back and rewatch some parts of it, because I thought, did we watch the same film? It is a low bar, though. I mean, to be fair, it is a low bar, but yeah.
The first one is very good. I must admit, even with like the nostalgia factor and things like that. The first one is a good movie. Absolutely,
and the parts of that film that aren't a filler, it's a compelling storyline, because Mewtwo, the original Pokemon villain, is a compelling character and a compelling storyline anyway. Yeah, but I've not watched all 23 Pokemon movies because I don't hate myself that much. I don't think I could watch all 23. But in saying that, like I said, the I Choose You and the second one was The Power of Us, and then this is the third one since the little reboot, and they do look nice. They are nice looking films, and generally speaking, the music's okay. It's like on the cheesy side, but I mean that's Pokemon, really,
Yeah, Pokemon rap.
Interestingly, that's the best. But the first Pokemon movie has, like, if I think about sort of like things in the 90s particularly that were sort of like impactful to kids or teens or whatever, and I often look back to things like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was just like constantly full of really interesting social commentary and like well-meaning enthusiasm and tales of frustration, classism, racism.
Yep.
Just like for something that was aimed at like 11, 12 and early teens and things like that, that show was like pretty full on.
Yeah.
But then the Pokemon movie, Mewtwo has the fantastic line, and I will quote, is, "I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are." Absolutely. That is a very, very deep and meaningful line for a movie that no child understands that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
not even close.
That's right.
It's like many times I've spoken about this, is in Transformers the movie. Like any child who understands the full dialogue is like borderline genius, because there's lines. What is it? There's literally a line in that movie where a character says, "Your bargaining posture is highly dubious." It's like, what?
Is that is that Orson Welles? Is that a unicorn?
It is. It's Unicron. Yeah, Unicron. Your bargaining posture is highly dubious. It's just such a okay. I guess. Great. Yeah, like I love that. My bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's incredible.
God, that's
so
Megatron.
Good. So good. But yeah, then we get to the sort of, I suppose, as you say, the second phase of that battle, where this is where we've convinced the other Pokemon that they should come and fight, and they're all sort of getting involved, and Dada's now been taken back to the waters with Coco.
He's trying to harness the power of the jungle to heal him.
No, he has like one more. He comes back with Pokemon and then jumps in, and he gets like the superpowers that he has, and he grows like big tentacle arms, like that Nintendo
rips
game.
The arm off the spider robot.
Yeah, as a what's that Nintendo game? The beat 'em up, where you had like the springy arms.
Arms. Literally called Arms.
Oh yeah, that was called Arms. Yeah.
The recent one. Yeah.
Discontinued now.
How often are you gonna have a conversation where you're like, that game, the one with the thing?" And then the person will be going, "Oh, it's that. That's the name of that game.
Yeah.
It's just the thing you said is the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that will never happen again in your life.
Well,
It's just this one conversation."
well, that Wii sports game that you did all the sports in.
Yeah, exactly.
Nintendo like the simple
Fair
names.
enough.
Anyway, does the whole whole thing with his, because he has like big vines around his arms and starts
With his
punching them with
vines,
that.
yeah, his
Yeah.
magical vines.
Yeah, and all glowy vines, and then he dies, and then Coco brings him back to life.
Yeah.
With the hit somehow using a Pokemon move.
Yeah,
It manages to harness the power of the jungle, as if he were indeed a Pokemon. I'm reading here.
yeah.
From the official
just to add
source.
a big question mark over Coco's origins.
Told you, man. He's
Yeah.
Superman.
It's not the first time they've
Why?
done something like this as well. They've sort of hinted, they've played with that in the past about, you know, a human adopting the ability that a Pokemon has in order to use it to help him and stuff. They're very much into that at the moment in the games and all through the franchise. This idea that if the bond is strong enough, the line between Pokemon and human it can be blurred, which I think is heading in a dangerous direction. But I suppose we'll find out.
See how that goes.
Does the dangerous direction involve the word furries?
Yeah.
Too late for that,
I'm
guys.
not trying to yuck someone else's yum or anything here, but like that's the only the direction I foresee.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's already
we're
gone.
gonna blur
there.
the lines between animal and human. It's like no, we're not. we're gonna put a stop to that right here.
Yeah.
Before it gets worse than that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already happened. It's already happened, guys. I don't know what you're.
No, you're right, Colin. It's too late. I have not manifested that. It already existed.
It's already existed. It's 20 years.
Yeah.
30 years.
Oh.
30 years?
So,
It's been
now
30
we
years
get
of
into sort
Pokemon.
the full-on action sequence. What? No, 25 years of Pokemon.
25. Yeah, 25. I think February
95 Pocket Monsters, right?
February of this year was the 25th Pokemon Day,
25th.
so it
Yeah.
was the 25th anniversary. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Although it was the original release in the UK is 98.
I think
December,
so.
like November 98.
I think so.
Yeah.
US was the year before, and Japan was obviously 2 years before that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Fifth year I would be.
crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. That's why
So
it's kind of missed me. Just being that bit older.
yeah, I get you're a couple years older than I am, so yeah, I
Yeah.
can see. Like I was probably literally about the oldest you would be, and still.
I think so because
into
I
that
was
at the time.
when it became the thing that everyone was talking about in the UK. I was the literal target market age. I think because I would be 10, and you are you are a 10-year-old going on this adventure in the games, and forevermore will be a 10-year-old in every Pokemon game. So yeah, I think that's probably the reason that I was cause we myself and you, Stephen, and Michael as well, we were really into it, and then but I think the mere fact that I was just that little bit younger than you is what has played a part in me being sucked in to the extent that I was, you know.
Because I was way into it until until Ruby and Sapphire. That was the last one I had the real affinity for.
Yeah.
And was Diamond Silver the first one after that? Not Diamond. Sorry,
Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, that was so Gen 4, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Yeah.
I picked that up, but never really played through it. Then we got Black and White 2, X and Y.
Yep.
Yeah,
X
and
and
then
Y,
Sword and
Sun and
Shield?
Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield.
Sun and Moon. Shit, God, I forgot about Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy man.
Lots of games. Yeah, so has a big fight, brings this guy back to life, and then the humans kind of revolt against their leader and go, "What the fuck? What's going on? We don't want part of this." And the guy's like, "Well, tough, you are going to be part of it." And then they went, well,
You can't say no to my robot spider.
yeah. And then it was one of the humans went, "You know what? There's a control box. You just need to get to this spot in the back." And they get Pikachu to go ride on all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool animated scene, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
it
the
is.
kind of
They
whipping
try
around.
the first attempt is to just Ash tells Pikachu to use Quick Attack on the robotic spider, and that fails because of course it would, Ash. Come on.
Yeah.
And
Pikachu, use your soft body
yeah,
to really quickly hit this solid steel robot.
It's all about quick attack. Oh. Ash turns his cat backwards. And you know he's serious when he does that.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know that he means business when he turns his cat backwards. Absolutely.
Yeah. I can see the sun
It's,
getting into your eyes more. Surely you would
Yeah.
be serious with that. Right?
Now that I'm having to squint, I can totally get in on this Pokemon battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the thing that gets me is like, so it's a robot spider, right? What kind of Pokemon are you, Pikachu? Just electric? Cool. Use every move except the electric ones.
Yeah.
Just, 'cause that'd be too easy, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't want to end the carnage now. I just need like a few more minutes where
Yeah.
there's danger or some other animals getting hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, he uses Iron Tail, of all moves, to slice down the back of it
Yeah.
and essentially blow it up.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's disabled. And then the guy wanders off.
Coco
hang out.
captures him, doesn't he?
Oh.
Coco captures
Yeah.
His
Professor
Coco's
Zed.
anger takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they restore the jungle.
He was going to jump into the water
Yeah.
for some reason.
He was. It's like if I just kill myself by throwing myself into here, I feel like this is better.
Yeah.
In what
No.
way? Like how does that benefit you or anyone in any way, shape or form? You are literally talking about like, hey, it's like, get captured or jump off the cliff. I don't.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe prison in the Pokemon world is littered with human rights atrocities.
Why not?
Yeah.
You don't see it. He got bundled off there anyway at the end.
Officer Jenny, a master of waterboarding. That's what they don't tell you.
Nurse Joy getting the old sodium pentothal out. We'll find out what really happened here. Just give us a few minutes. Chansey, bring in those needles.
Yeah.
Dope this guy up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a deeply, deeply disturbing angle to the world of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They sort of bring back the jungle. There's a rude sort of like tear a bit of their own vines away, scrumple them up, and go
Yeah.
release them as spores, I guess.
Growing abilities because they grow the trees mighty fast. Because everyone starts like replanting trees and stuff, and then they like,
That's
oh
right,
help!
because they hint at that at the very start, don't they? Because of the speed that the little plant grows out of the ground. Remember when they're planting for
Oh yeah,
planting for berries, is it, or something like that?
Yeah,
It sprouts up super quickly.
we have surprisingly glossed over an entire character in Squovit or whatever the
Oh
squirrel's name is.
yeah.
Surprisingly really channeling the Swedish chef from the Muppets very hard throughout the whole movie.
Oh, the
Squovit, it's like yeah
Oh,
something's
it's-
not right here.
his mate, Coco's mate or Al's mate,
Yeah, Al's pal.
Al's pal.
Why haven't I leaped yet? Why haven't I leaped yet, Al?
Yeah.
This makes me think of Quantum Leap.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, they heal up the jungle, and then Ash is like, well, time to say bye.
Yeah.
And then they kind of say bye, And Ash does the thing that I just find incredibly confusing. Is like, it's like, well, see ya, and then just sprints in the other direction at full speed. It's like this weird dramatic exit. It was like, goodbye! Ah! Running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's like, Ash, you, 1, don't know where you're going. 2, don't know how long you're going to have to run like that for. 3, why are you like this? What is wrong with you?
He has a few things wrong with him. But anyway, and then Coco's basically goes, "Oh, I want to go on my journey." And then the Dada's like, "No, you can't be doing that. Why can't you leave me?" type thing. And then it's like, yeah, that's all apply. I'm actually quite happy about it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why? And then they block up the plant to cause a big master firework type display in the plant.
Yeah,
tree.
They block the pressure hole in the life
Tree.
swamp or river tree, and it causes like a big sort of geyser to appear at the top of the tree.
Yeah.
That I can tell you right now, nobody noticed. Not a single fucking person. Like, nobody saw a giant water spout. This guy's in helicopters being like, definitely didn't see that.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't see that. And then they all kind of does like the crazy faraway scene. Oh, I was watching the trailer for a Netflix series. It was like the cliches of Hollywood. And in the trailer it talks about the cliche of the guy watching a funeral from afar away. And then it says, and then they go, so the Fast and the Furious it trumped it even better because they have like, what's his name? The guy is dead in real life. Watching the funeral of the friend.
Paul Walker.
Well, they have Vin Diesel watching this funeral from far away. Far away. I was like, all right.
It's like how the Fast and Furious franchise trumps itself. It's like, well, we're going to go to space, but also we're going to have a guy watching a funeral and a guy watching the guy watching the funeral.
Yeah.
But also the guy who's watching the funeral is dead in real life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is also the first film or the second film. Whatever ones he was in.
It's not the second one. Vin Diesel's not in the second Fast and Furious.
Oh, wow, really?
And he's also only in one scene in the third one.
Wow. I thought he was in all of them except from the last two. Because he fell out with The Rock.
He's been... No, Vin Diesel... No, The Rock's not been in them.
Oh, wait. Well, I thought The Rock was in them. He was certainly in the last...
Has he not only been in one? Or is it two The Rock's
He's been in 5, 6, and 7.
5, 6, and 7, right.
I think. And then they had a falling out during 7, and he wasn't in 8 or 9.
Wait, how many?
What
did they
fall out about?
Just The Rock being The Rock.
I think the Vin Diesel has sort of imposed upon The Rock that there is no franchise without Vin Diesel.
Right.
And it's like, sure, that might be true, but The Rock is the highest paid movie star in the world.
Yes.
And you're telling him that.
Yeah.
Also, you were telling him that when he came on and the reviews and money for the franchise was pouring in.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's not. So, like, not saying that, you know, causation is correlation, whatever, or correlation equals causation, but yeah, it just, maybe he's been a bit of a dick.
Yeah, sounds like it. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe.
It's just weird. Yeah, so they're saying goodbye to Coco as he runs away, and he goes to Gash and tries to say something to Ash because he's starting to learn a bit more English, like "bye Ash" and "hi Ash" and "you going Ash" type thing. And Ash goes, "Oh, you want to go on a journey too?" And he goes, with you." I'm sure he says with you. And then Coco runs away on his own journey.
That's because he's just copying what Ash did. He's like, bye.
Yeah, I want to go on a journey with
Running
you.
as fast as possible. Because as you know, like in order to say goodbye to someone, normally you have to enter a full-on sprint.
Yeah, you
and
have
look
to.
behind you, waving like a lunatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because looking behind you while sprinting is also really easy to do and not at all
It
dangerous.
can
No.
it can never lead to any danger. My son can attest to this. He has never gotten himself into a single accident by not looking where he's running.
I am shocked. I have seen many accidents happen for that one reason.
Oh dear.
Um,
And then that's kind of the end of this film.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Celebi appears and sees that everything's cool,
mhm.
and then
That's right.
like that's it.
oh, and
Celebi
Dada
just
takes
sort of-
So,
Dada
Sorry.
takes off his scarf and hangs it on the
He does.
boy's bedroom treehouse thing, and you see Celebi there, and then that's it, really.
Yep.
it's just fucking Celebi is like, well, thanks for sorting that all out, guys. I'm moving back.
I'm back now.
It's like, thanks for fixing that problem with the jungle. Probably could have helped out, but nah, not really my scene.
No, he's
but,
only
you
come
know,
back to get another
appreciate-
future egg.
Yeah.
It's like, now that this place is cool, I'm gonna bring back more future eggs. And we're gonna have I don't know, some future scramble or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just super weird.
Future egg.
Uh,
I mean, technically, isn't all eggs future? Because they've
No,
not happened
no,
yet.
they're not. Like well, no, like because if an egg exists now,
Uh-huh.
it's still moving along the same timeline. They're not breaking like the laws of physics.
yeah.
But because it doesn't exist now, right? And then when it does
but that's like the
exist,
same as potential energy. Potential energy is not time traveling energy. It's just energy that is not expended yet.
but it's future egg.
It's
It's
like
the
the-
future egg until the present.
Battery, like your AA batteries, it's like, oh, they're full of future power. No, they're not. It's just power. Be used when it's time.
Future. No, they're stored. No.
Your car's not full of future petrol. It's just petrol.
It's future petrol, man. Don't burst my bubble. Don't burst my bubble. I like my future petrol. I'm in future petrol mode.
Hey, tell me, is it any less expensive to buy fuel in the future? Because right now it's not great.
No, because also they got the imported from the future into my car. Cost
Shit, imagine the tax on that.
yeah, what's the tax on
Oh my god.
Anyway, so
That
it's that time of the podcast. I think we already made our views clear in it, but
yeah.
We're all coming at this from slightly different places, though, which I think is quite interesting. Because I wanted to just ask you, Colin, like, what you hadn't watched a Pokemon film since the first one.
no.
He's never watched any. It's just Detective Pikachu.
You've never watched any apart from Detective Pikachu, which
Yeah.
we've already established doesn't count. It's not in the same category. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So you have no frame of reference really for
I
this. So what did you think?
Well, I just found it was pretty shallow movie in a sense, but then I remember some of the earlier Pokemon episodes and they're quite shallow in themselves. It wasn't a deep. They could have made things so much deeper, and the way
Yeah.
children's cartoons are at the moment, there's a lot of children's cartoons out there that actually have like a decent plot and storyline in them.
Exactly, because that's the thing that comes up a lot is that, you know, people say it about the games as well when it comes to Pokemon, like, you know, you've got to remember that these games are made for 10, 11, 12-year-old kids, and it's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that older people cannot enjoy something that is objectively, you know, well made and good and enjoyable and stuff like that. So I still enjoy consuming the Pokemon games, and it's like the films. No, they're not aimed at a 33-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old or whatever. But neither are Disney movies, and yet
No.
Disney movies have enough about them for them to be objectively enjoyable.
You're right. It comes down to the depth. I think.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what you said.
There's
as well,
a lot-
Colin.
there's a lot
It's
of movies. like that.
I feel even the early Pokemon episodes, they were less shallow than that movie. Like, I feel like there's more character building and nuance to season 1 Indigo League Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely.
Than this movie.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
even,
you're...
like, I think particularly, but like introduction to Charmander as a character, like as Ash's Charmander, is the downtrodden, beaten up Pokemon that the kid doesn't want and leaves out to die in the rain.
Yeah, but it's like genuine emotional moments, you know?
Actually, yeah,
Like, that was good stuff.
the original series does have a lot more in it than now you're saying. It's certainly because they don't have the luxury of going, so you know what, this has been around for 25 years, and this is what Ash is, and everyone kind of knows what Ash is. It's like Mario. Everyone knows Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Mario. And
It's me, Mario.
Charles Day, Luigi.
Yeah.
That's
Although I can totally believe that.
That's the one I was like, what? Charles Day is Luigi over Chris Pratt as Mario. It didn't really shock me that Chris Pratt was Mario as much as Charles Day.
I think that the Luigi casting is probably the most inspired.
Yeah, so
if not, what's his name? Keegan Michael Key as Toad is also inspired casting.
Yes.
Oh God. What was I was watching the movie. That's the guy from Keegan and Kel, yeah?
Keen Peele.
Keen Peele. Oh, he's that guy. Who's the guy from the Keegan and Kel then? What's his name?
Keenan
Thompson?
Keenan Thompson, yeah.
Keenan Thompson, yeah. Because I think I saw him in another movie. It was like Michael Caine. And it's about him really old and getting upset with the bank, and he goes to the bank and say, I can't pay my mortgage because you've gone and increased the interest rate. Oh, we warned you about this. No, you said it would not really happen. And then a bank robbery happens. And then he gets inspired to rob a bank. And then they try to rob like a local convenience store. Like do some shoplifting out of that. And they do a big runaway and totally get caught because they're like, it all gets blown out and steal like a motor scooter thing, you know, like the old people scooter things. Or getting chased by like a security guard.
Mobility scooter.
Yeah, the mobility scooter.
This is a movie with, did you say Michael Caine?
Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, and
Keenan Thompson.
Yeah, Keenan Thompson, but he only appears as like the manager of the store, and you know he just kills it with his lines in it. I thought it was probably the funniest character in it because they try to lose the security guard by throwing flour in the face of the security guard so she can see where she was running. And said, "Look at her! You made her look like a Colombian mule."
This is desperate to pay the bills and come through for their loved ones. 3 lifelong pals risk it all by embarking on a daring bid to knock off the very bank that absconded with their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they also
it's called Going in Style.
Yeah, Going in Style. It's actually pretty good.
And weirdly, it's directed by Zach Braff.
Oh wow, really?
Who's Zach Braff?
From Scrubs.
All right, yeah, makes sense. Anyway, yeah, it was.
So, talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, back to the Pokemon.
So, you did not like this film. Would you recommend it, Colin?
Maybe as kids movie, if you want to like get some kids off your back for like I don't know, 30 minutes. Notice how that's not
I
even...
to watch this movie 3 times, Colin. 3 damn times.
You watched it 3 times.
And you know what? It won't be like, that's not including all the, in quotes, false starts of watching the first 20 minutes. And then when I switch it back on, it's like, can you put it back to the start? And it's like, please no.
Yeah, but that's
Please
kids
no.
for you, man. Like you say, you can put it on for 30 minutes and distract them for 30 minutes, and then they'll be watching.
It's like I said, the song at the very beginning is the most enjoyable part of the movie.
Yeah,
That's why. That's
We are
you know,
Zarude.
Yeah.
and then you got the song at the end as well to close it off.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
We are jungle, we are life, or something. I think they say.
I don't know if
Oh,
I
yeah,
could.
yeah, yeah.
I am really quick to recommend Pokemon stuff to anyone who asks me, about the games or anything like that. I think the cards are really cool and sort of collect them in a sort of really relaxed basis. But if someone wanted to watch a Pokemon movie, or the anime or something like that, I don't think I could ever recommend. I don't think I could recommend any of the movies. I think that's the truth of it. I would always say absolutely watch Detective Pikachu because it's great. It's a lot of fun and it's been really well made and it looks amazing. But I don't know. I don't think I could recommend this.
I agree. I think there's much better Pokemon stuff to consume,
Yeah.
and a lot of it on Netflix as well.
But again, is it if this was like a 50-minute thing, but an hour and 40 minutes, it doesn't have the content for it. That's
No.
Too shallow for that length of time. You could
Yeah.
totally have done away with, at least 5 minutes of each montage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to say it. Recommend it. Like I say, just to small kids. Anyone
Yeah,
our
I mean,
age.
if there's a kid 8, 9, 10 or younger or whatever who really loves Pokemon, they're going to want to see the latest Pokemon film, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids love it, but
Yeah.
it is that. It's just looking at the Pokemon and being interested in seeing them in places they haven't seen them before. That's,
Exactly.
Like the sand dragon in the forest.
Yeah, because he's
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god.
The jungle asshole.
Yeah. That's it.
I think if our episodes had subtitles, it would be Jungle Asshole
Yeah.
for this one.
The arsehole formerly
yeah.
known as Desert Spirit. Yeah.
What's the symbol for that?
Prince.
So yeah, we have persevered and seen through the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of brings us to a natural outro. I think we'll change things up and we'll have our guest. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, not really. Not really.
fine.
No.
I just wanted to ask.
I would always just encourage people. I'm a corporate shill. I want people to enjoy Pokemon and everything that is fed to them with the Pokemon name on it. But it doesn't have to be this film. But there's lots of other good stuff out there.
That's right.
Start with it.
That would be a good question then.
First
If
two
you could
seasons of the
recommend
anime.
One piece of Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, first two.
That would be the place to go.
I would reckon if we're talking outside of the games, the first two seasons of the anime, Detective Pikachu, and the very first Pokemon movie. That's where I would go personally. That's that lovely late 90s goodness.
The good shit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you've been listening to Who's That Anime. As you've been listening to, of course, you'll know this is a podcast at this point. We can be found where all good podcasts can be found. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Castbox, Overcast, all those fantastic things, including Spotify. Or you can find us at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. We also have a Facebook page where you can come and hang out. Or, well, more likely, come and see when new episodes are coming. Or share in some memes that we occasionally share. The Mr. Popo meme that I shared more recently gave me a good chuckle. So it's a nice clip from the DBZ Abridged, which I would also recommend people go to watch. It's very funny.
If it's still there.
But we generally put up... It must be, surely, no?
The reason they stopped it, I think they keep getting copyright fucking infringed. And it was a pain in the ass to keep getting them like, no, there's no copyright infringement in this.
Oh man, I'll need to try and download it from somewhere then.
Yeah.
If I can't find it on YouTube. But yeah, would recommend. So yeah, if you want, you can find us at facebook.com/who's that anime. Like I say, you can see when new episodes are coming, share and enjoying the memes, come and join the conversation. Colin likes to play video games.
I do.
Does so at www.twitch.tv/couchfuel. What's the latest you've been playing?
Sable. That's the name of the game. That cell shading game. I haven't played anything other than that. That was a few weeks ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Been a holiday.
It seems yeah, that's true. But of course, if you want to catch up with any of the archives of any of the any of the things he's played, or the group of us have played, you can do so at YouTube by looking up for the channel Couch Fuel. Similarly, if you like horror-related content, then you can find me on twitch.tv/HalePayman. Similarly, I have an archive of the stuff that I've done on YouTube under the same channel name. We have a YouTube channel where we have put up our Golden Boy season so far. Working on getting the rest of it up and done, but just not as much time has been spent on that. But I promise we will one day catch up on that.
Yeah, we'll get there. It's also nice to mention that we're all on the Couchfield YouTube channal.
Yes,
that is very true.
Because we did Mario Party.
That is very true.
We are 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's a thought, right?
I feel physical pain when I think about that. You know that.
Even more for physical pain. It's been 3.5 years since we did that.
3.5.
3.5. Wow. Really? Oh, now see, that's interesting because in my head it feels like that was further back than that.
I think it was 4.
I'm pretty sure it was 2018. Is it 4.5?
I thought it's 2017.
Please tell me it's not.
Can find out if you just go to the YouTube channel.
Please.
It couldn't have been 2018.
Let's just say it's less than 5 years.
It couldn't have been 2018 because I was in Canada.
I thought it was 4.5 years.
Oh my god!
In which case, it's nearly 5 years.
Yeah,
see, that feels more. Yeah,
we should do a 5-year anniversary and do something for that. Another 40 hours of pain.
I would definitely do something like that again, but I think straight off the bat I would say I absolutely can't do 48 hours. It's not something I'm physically capable of anymore. I think I could do 24 though.
I don't know if I think I could do 24. I'm not sure I could do 48 hours.
Yeah, you're probably right. So I was thinking, since you said you haven't watched all the Pokemon movies.
Oh god.
All 23.
Oh my god.
That'd be
at least 36 hours.
Well, how many are 2 hours long?
Oh my god. No, this is one of the...
None of them.
So
None of them are 2
the
hours.
Secrets of the Jungle is one of the longer Pokemon films. So they do tend to come in at about 1:25, 1:30. This came in at about 1:40, I believe.
1:43.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that would require a lot of charitable donations for me to be even remotely tempted to do that.
It would certainly be less than 48 hours, but also time I will not get back.
Exactly.
So yeah, on that note, thank you very much to Robbie for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed
celebrate in the Pokemon the movie Secrets of the Jungle.
Absolutely.
Don't know when this you'll be listening to this episode at the time we put it up. Not exactly sure when I'm going to put it up, but it will be up. So if you're listening to it, enjoy. But we'll be back. I don't know exactly where in the timeline I'm going to put this, so it's very difficult to give contextual information.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Let's just keep this one evergreen.
Evergreen. Oh, Sonic X.
No.
No?
No, cut. We're done here.
Yeah.
We will see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye, folks.
On this is Who's That Anime? See you later.
This. I thought you were going to say this is anime.
It is anime. Right. Anyway,
Just your camera's just gonna fall to one side.
maybe. Right.
Bye, folks.
Bye.